BBC Money Daily, your bite-sized snapshot of what's hot in business and beyond. Ahead, we take a look at mergers and acquisitions in the fintech space with a focus on homegrown African companies also. The race heats up in Ethiopia's telecom sector amid the country's efforts to liberalize the economy. Plus, we tell you how to take advantage of coaching to improve your income or career prospects. We're coming to you from Nairobi. Let's do this. I'm Hayakawa. Money Daily starts right now. Let's talk fintech. Zeepay, a financial services company that's been growing roots in Ghana, has announced buying a 51% stake of a Zambian mobile money transfer company, Mangwee. A notable step for two indigenous African fintechs to get more share of Africa's $70 billion remittance market. The merger plan is to also touch on different demographics. Mangwee initially targeted university students with an aim of driving down the cost of sending money. Zeepay, on the other hand, processed $400 million across 10 markets last year. So joining me now is Andrew Takyi-Appiah, the Managing Director of Zeepay, to discuss this merger more in depth. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the first of its kind, especially when we're looking at the scale of investment we're talking about right now. Tell us how crucial this is to note.
Well, I think, first of all, I want to say thank you for your team for inviting me on the show. BBC, keep up the good work you're doing in Africa. How crucial is this? This is very crucial because it's beginning to tell the story of two African players coming together, two homegrown indigenous fintechs that are coming together to make this happen across the continent. Is worth noting. It's worth noting for several reasons. The first is the fact that Africans can do it for themselves. The second is the fact that it means we're ready for AFTAC. We, Zeepay, on our own, went into Zambia, obviously for strategic reasons. We have operations in the zone. In the SADC zone, we're in Zimbabwe, we're in Mozambique. So the Zambia was an opportunity to be able to get into the center and be able to drive our growth from the center. Out of Zambia, we're looking into Malawi. Out of Zambia, we're looking into Angola, we're looking into Namibia, and we're looking to complete a Southern African story.
No, that's really exciting. But I'm wondering, why would a Ghanaian company in particular be interested in expanding in these areas, especially when we see companies like M-Pesa, World Remit, and other big players investing in this fintech space?
Well, first of all, you put it right. The M-Pesa is Vodacom. It's still a global entity. World Remit is still a global entity. This is an African story. Why are we interested in the Southern Zone? Like I previously said, the SADC is a very interesting hub. SADC on its own is processing about $1 to $3 billion of remittances annually. So getting into that zone, the timing is perfect. I think Zambia in itself is at the right place. Zambia is where Ghana was about 10 years, right at the time of takeoff. So going in there is very strategic. It also gives us access to Mozambique, where we have operations. It gives us comfort into Zimbabwe, where we have operations. And it opens up Malawi and Namibia and the rest of the continent to us. So it's very strategic. Will we pitch our tent in South Africa at some point? Yes, we'll pitch our tent in South Africa at some point. What we've decided to do is to go for global dominance, maintaining our model, which is remittance to mobile wallets. Also, this will help us reduce the cost of remittance, which is quite high in the SADC zone. The rest of Africa usually hovers between 5 to 8.5% of the principal amount. Southern Africa still hovers around 13%. So getting in there with our partners would help reduce the cost of remittance, especially because of our novel model.
Yes, and keeping in mind that this is a huge earner for Africa, and also the cost is a huge concern for many. Well, thank you so much, Andrew, for that. Now, a quick look at other stories making headlines. Telecom operators from the UK, South Africa, Kenya, and Japan are bidding to enter Ethiopia's untapped telecom market. The Ministry of Finance announced on Monday that it received 2 bids from NTM and a consortium of Safaricom, Vodacom, CDC, Sumitomo, as it works to open the telecom market to international operators. The procession to start the compensation of persons affected by the construction of the East African oil pipeline begins Monday this week. The exercise device is expected to cost over $18 million. Meanwhile, French oil company Total has suspended work on its $20 billion gas project in northern Mozambique and withdrawn all its staff from the site, citing insecurity. The government of Kenya is not closing down Dadaab and Kakuma refugee camps, but it wants a solution, the High Commissioner of UN Refugee Agency has said during his East Africa tour. Last month, Kenya gave 14 days ultimatum to close the camps that host more than 400 million people, citing national security concerns. You're watching Money Daily from the BBC. Straight ahead, the business of coaching. Well, the COVID-19 pandemic has forced many people to reevaluate their careers, with others seeking to chart a new professional path. To do this, some have turned to career or personal coaches, an industry that is registering growth. A study by the International Coaching Federation revealed that coaching revenue was well over $2.8 billion in 2019, representing a 21% growth from 2015. Now, employment networking platform LinkedIn has listed coaching one of the 15 jobs on the rise for 2021, with hiring for these professionals going up more than 51% since 2019. Well, Prince Harry recently jumped onto the coaching ship after he was announced the Chief Impact Officer for BetterUp, a startup focused on coaching and mental health. But what exactly is coaching? Well, it's been defined as simply the process of partnering with a client in a thought-provoking and creative process that inspires them to maximize their personal and professional potential. So we turned to our Biz 100 experts from across the continent. We asked them, how can people benefit from professional coaching? And this is what they had to say.
Professional coaching is very important and beneficial. It helps boost the performances of people in the workplace. For me, it's been a very important tool because recently I had a professional journalist, a coach, drill me on certain aspects of the profession, and that has spurred me to become more engaged in writing and storytelling, and it's been awesome for me.
Growing up, I had the privilege of having coaches and mentors who helped me, develop the skills, abilities, and habits that will assist me to become a successful person, both in my personal life and in business. It's that actually inspired me to start Kumbaya Africa in 2018.
The International Coaching Federation Global Coaching Awareness Study indicates the top benefits of coaching clients include improved communication skills, confidence, and productivity.
If you want to learn a new skill, if you want to do a course, if you want to get into fitness, this is actually the time to do it. Because guess what? You can do it virtually. Everything is going virtual. So I suggest we use the time that we have on our hands wisely.
Joining us now is Esther Mwaniki, the founder and CEO of Lapid Leaders Africa. Thanks for joining us. When I think about business coaching, I've seen it develop quite well in Western countries. Has it caught up in Africa?
No, it's still a very underdeveloped space. And a bit of it is our history. So when you think about coaching, as it was mentioned by Emily, it's a personal development intervention. So it's almost like coaching, mentoring, and counseling work together to be able to unlock the potential of the individual. And historically, what used to happen is, if you think about most African societies, that was integrated within the communities. And so you had coaching, mentoring, counseling going on in each phase of life. And so as part of the rites of passages that individuals went through, you'd see young people moving with older people within the community to be coached, to be mentored. And so it was integrated within society. And then we went through colonialism, and a lot of that legacy knowledge was lost. And so what we're emerging from is, one, you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the systems, you don't have the structures to be able to do the coaching, the counseling. And so these are emerging fields. And as they emerge, there's quite a bit of knowledge gap that we need to be able to bridge. And that knowledge gap comes with it's very expensive to build a knowledge gap. It's very expensive to build the systems, the structures around it. And that means it's very inaccessible as we speak to many people.
That just makes me think of it as an alternative. It's an alternative from, going through formal education, which a lot of people cannot afford if you're looking at tertiary education and things like that. But then as a person who's looking for a coach to guide me in a certain area, how can I identify the best coach to work with me and which areas I may think of exploring?
That's a fantastic question. Your best bet with coaching is to figure out what specific skill do I want to be able to get out of the coach. My first coach was within the professional field, and it was focused around building my managerial skills. And so we worked specifically with this coach to be able to ask, what does it take for you to better lead teams, to better vision your teams, and so have clarity of what you want to get out of the coach. I find that's one of the bigger gaps, especially among the young people. We go to coaches and say, please coach me. But you don't go to the coach and say, what do you want from this coach? So first, have clarity of what you want from the coach. Then once you have clarity of what you want from the coach, look for a trained coach. Somebody who is willing to ask questions. I love the definition because it talks about thought-provoking questions.
Yeah.
The best coach will ensure that even when they're done with your coaching session, you can be able to solve problems even by yourself. So one, clarity of what you want, and two, make sure that you then
that makes a lot
go for
of
a
sense.
coach who's trained.
We just are running out of time, but then I wanted to quickly ask about people who can coach themselves, how to go about it. Because me personally, I am a lover of downloading YouTube content, you know, because I can't access these professional coaches. So what are your thoughts on that?
I find there's a lot of value to sit first under a mentor even before you go to coaching training, because sometimes you don't even know what you need. And so you need to be able to sit under a mentor to be able to say, this is the gap that you have. You have some communication gap, you have some team leadership gap. Let's go towards the internet. Let's go towards organization like ICF to be able to get coaches. Within Lapid, what we've done is we've partnered with an organization called CDI Africa. And as part of their training for coaches, they then also coach our students. So a bit of creative thinking so that then you're able to collaborate with existing systems. But I find that the place to start with mentorship, because mentorship allows you to be able to say, this is the gap. And with clarity of the gap, then you're able to put in the coaching work.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Esther, for your lovely tips on that. And now we've scanned the whole internet, so you don't have to hear the summary in too long, didn't read. And the Oscar goes to Daniel Kaluuya. The British actor born to Ugandan parents won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for his nuanced portrayal of Fred Hampton in Judas and the Black Messiah. Have you watched it? Well, Kaluuya also won the Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actor earlier this awards season. Well, it's another win for Africa as the South African documentary My Octopus Teacher bags an Oscar. Yay! The documentary that was a hit on Netflix tells the tale of an 8-limbed creature and her human companion. And in Zimbabwe, social media has been awash with allegations against popular online television channel Nash TV over unfair contracts described as slavery and exploitation. Nash TV has refuted the allegations, saying some artists rushed to sign their contracts without necessarily understanding the contents. A reminder for you to read your contracts back to back. That's it from BBC Money Daily today. Thanks for watching. My name is Hayakawa. See you next time.